Welcome. This is workshop number 4, entitled Manifesting Your Thoughts, and I am again Yvonne Stein, and we'll get into a new kind of balance. We've talked a little bit about subconscious and conscious mind and breaking down the barrier between them in the last workshop. Now we're going to talk about harmonizing the subconscious, conscious, and superconscious minds. Okay, a higher level of balance. Again, for manifesting your thoughts, you want to manifest the future, then you have to open the door to your superconscious mind to help, because that'll help elevate your conscious thinking and as well as your manifestation abilities. So the subconscious, we talked about that. That's where your pain, trauma, memory, instincts, experiences, your true attentions, basically past programming. The conscious mind is your reason, decision-making, choices, rational thinking, and that's where your wisdom can come from. When you analyze something from your subconscious mind, you gain wisdom, if you are able to understand it. And the superconscious mind is your higher self, higher level of wisdom, infinity of life, energy, and connecting with the divine. So, the creation of the conscious sandwich. All right, so we already talked about breaking down the wall between your subconscious mind and your conscious mind. In other words, taking a look at what's going on in your subconscious mind and using the exercises to heal and grow from it so that you're not afraid or trying to block things coming into your mind from your subconscious. And again, we talked about when you do the forgiveness exercise and you really understand what you're doing and really forgiving, then those things coming into from your subconscious mind eventually just go away. And that's tearing down the wall. And so that there is no difference between your subconscious and conscious. So what you want to do is also do the same thing with your superconscious mind and what I call the conscious sandwich. The superconscious is, you can achieve that through many different ways. Obviously, meditation, finding peace. If you keep growing along this path, your superconscious mind will become more open to you, because that's where the superconscious mind operates, in the divine, in total release, allows you to access it more easily. And the superconscious mind is, again, not just your ability, it helps your ability to manifest, but it also is your connection to intuition, higher level of spirituality, or what they call, some people call it a Akashic record, or just a higher level of understanding of your path, all of those things. So obviously, if you have all of these consciousness thinking the same kinds of thoughts and harmonized, another form of balance. And obviously helps you manifest. Okay, comfort zones, we talked about that a little bit before. Downtimes during your spiritual evolution to regain strength and assimilate, and I can imagine that by now you're seeing the importance of those downtimes. Because this is a big nut. This is a lot of exercise and a lot of understanding, a lot of growth, and sometimes the challenges, you'll need a break from them. Okay, infinite paths to growth. Only you can make the choice. We talk about the choice. You know, there's infinite ways to get to the same place. This is only one way, and this not only, you know, this is based on probably every foundation in spirituality there is. This is how I've formulated it, so it's easier to maybe grasp and ground, like I said, ground in the physical plane. That's one of the things that I have been given as abilities to do. Let's talk about paths to growth. Obviously, we have the steep path, which I would say that I took the steep path. I quit work. I meditated for 10 hours a day because I was dedicated to doing this, right? I could do that because I didn't have responsibility of other people, and I wasn't in a relationship, so yeah, you know, I had the choice to do that. A steep path, and I relate this to rock climbing because I was a rock climber at times, and by the way, I took up rock climbing to help heal my fear of heights. Okay, I said, hey, this is a safe way, I'm on a rope. I mean, you know, so it worked. I mean, I was able to do things that I never thought I could do. So that was good. Maybe I haven't healed it completely, but it did help. So rock climbing, and if you're not familiar with rock climbing, obviously whether you have a rope or not, you got a cliff or a face of a wall in front of you, and there are infinite ways you can grab onto that wall and climb. And it's strictly based on what you're comfortable with. Okay, some people, if they are not real good rock climbers, they'll take the easy path and grab onto things that are really secure and not just look secure, where a confident climber might take a different path. All right, the interesting thing is that if you take the steep path or the more difficult path, you have a greater sense of accomplishment. Okay, the same applies to all of this. All right, if you choose to make quantum leaps, you will find that the accomplishment and the manifestation will be equal. I mean, equal in the sense that you will have a sense of accomplishment and you'll make greater leaps and bounds if you choose to do that. So there are a lot of people who have had this information who don't practice at all. There's some that practice a little bit of it. So you have the opportunity to practice multiple facets of it and do all at the same time if you're capable and have the time, opportunity, as well as the desire. Universal tests, like I said, we're constantly tested at higher levels until the fear is released. Okay? And that may be control dramas. I know I was tested at some pretty high ones. We talked about the Jesus and other people who have been killed because they had no fear of death, but there were control factors in the world that wanted them out of the picture. Okay, that's all it is. Okay, but there are levels that you may have to go through. And the most common one that affects a lot of people is the concept of money. All right, so, I mean, how many people would be afraid of losing $10? I mean, not very many people, right? Okay, then you can say, okay, well, what happens if it reaches $1,000? What happens if it reaches $100,000? Okay, there are different levels of fear for everybody. And whether you have to be tested on them or not is strictly your destiny, your karma, and where you're starting from. So, to release your fear of money, the true release of money would have to be that you have no fear of not having money at all. Okay, the question is, do you have to be tested on that? I can't answer that question, but I know the answer for most people. I was put there. I manifested that test. And it was difficult. I didn't have responsibilities other than myself, so it was probably easier for somebody like me to go through it than somebody who has a family and children and so forth. So it's not that you're supposed to go through every test in this life, okay, or in this situation that you're in currently. So that's just something to be aware of. So you're tested on things like isolation. Can you stay alone for a period of time? Okay, this is really a test of positive and negative polarity. I mean, if you're over here negative, you can't be alone for very long, or you're going to feel uncomfortable. Okay, so I've been tested on isolation. Had to be by myself for periods of time and learn what to do and how it feels and how to cope with life in those situations. And that's a very healthy one, by the way.